With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And welcome back, trackside. Once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Race Set Network, back in action one more time for your midweek madness. That's right, it's Hump Day with the Hauck Designs Arca series, week number 8 in this 12-week season. Number 12, will we see a new fresh face in victory lane, or will we get a repeat winner? Back-to-back short tracks coming at you this week and next. Man, Qualifying already behind us, drivers getting ready to get strapped in to go 155 laps around this half a mile paper clip. We're going to see who can get the job done, who walks away with the trophy, and who goes home with their head held, well, a little bit lower is how we'll phrase that one. Nonetheless, drivers making their way through pre-race inspection. We're going to get to some of those point standings a little bit later on here tonight, but before we kick things off, how you doing? How you feeling? Out there in TV land, race fans, glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, Dave in the Cave bringing you all the calls from trackside. Speaking of trackside, let's get a little closer as drivers make their way to the front stretch. There you can see them all lined up, ready to go. Cars are under power, await the word from the boss man in the flag stand. We're going to get things kicked off for the first time here tonight from the famed Martinsville Speedway. So a lot of racing in front of these guys here tonight. Starting in the front row. 2 wins to his name already this season. Let's take a little look at this driver. Give him a little bit of props because he's going to bring us to the green flag once again behind the wheel of that Crown Royal number 11. Wake up, Alex. It's time to roll. And there we go. Walking away with the Premier Racing Setup.com Pole Award here tonight from Martinsville Speedway. Alex Wiggins will bring us to the green flag. Rest of your starting lineup looks a little like this. Doug Argabright, the California kid, to the outside, gonna try to have his Kodak moment in victory lane. Yeah, that's a shot. Don't care. Daniel Jensen, Nick Burlow side by side. Very familiar foes gonna line up next to each other in row number 2. Back in row number 3 here tonight behind the wheel of that 85 machine, Dalton Schley. Jake Doffing right to his outside. Can Doffing make it back to victory lane? Jake not from state. Let's see if he can get it done. Brian Charnowski with Patrick Coro back in row number 4. And finishing out the 10-car field here tonight, 38 machine of Zach Miller. In the 404 of Dave Gage. Pace car in, off of 4, ready to roll, and green flag flies for the first time here tonight from Martinsville Speedway. Quickly single file at the front of the field. Little bit of argy-bargy back through the mid-pack. I do believe that's going to be the 4 of Daniel Jensen rooted up out of the way. And there it is. Caution flag going to fly for the first time here tonight. Caution on that lap. I believe that. I believe we got to lap number 2. Let's go take a look. Daniel Jensen, Patrick Coro involved. And, well, all right. Looks like we're not going to check out the replay. Looks like... there we go. There's the 4 up at the top of the racetrack, down into the corner. Everything go. Trouble in front of them. There it is. The 40, the 91, and the 28 going to get together. 4 is going to have nowhere to go. Daniel Jensen collected in this one after a little rough go off of 4 at the end of lap number 1. So we'll bring it back live and back behind the pace car. Once again, your pole sitter race leader, Alex Wiggins. So some point implications. I know it's super early, but I mean, why not? Why not throw it out there, right? Jensen starting at front of the field. Back in that third position, trouble early, finds himself deep in the field now, running in that 8th position, came into tonight's race just 14 points behind your season points leader, the 11 of Alex Wiggins. So up front with Wiggins, looking to dominate here tonight from the short track. He could be setting himself up for a little bit of an easier run to finish things off at Auto Club. He could wrap up the season championship before we get there. Looking about mathematically right now, looks like about excuse us, looks about like the top 10 of the point standings, your overall point standings coming into tonight's race. Still with that mathematical chance opportunity, we're going to take it all the way back, take it 11th with Patrick Coro moving up 2 positions after a solid run at Road America. Coro going to move to just 113 back. He's got to string together a few wins, but mathematically still possible. So we'll begin to whittle your possible champions down as we continue the countdown to the end of season number 12. We're going to count down to the end of the first caution out of turn 4, back into the restart zone. Green flag flies here in the Blue Ridge 75. Smooth sailing, front of the field, single file already, early after the restart. We're going to take a little slide back here to that chromed out red and white Chevy of Dalton Schley sitting there in that 4th position, picked up 1 spot from where he qualified as things start to get a little bit dark here. The foothills of Virginia, just north of, I believe, just north of Winston-Salem. Going to be about a 4-hour ride from the southeast headquarters here for the Turn 3 Racing Network. So just outside of the ballpark for us, and caution going to fly again. Jake Doffin going to have some problems this time. 13 struggling rear of the field. Let's see if this was a self-inflicted wound. Let's go back. Let's see if we can figure it out. Let's see what happens here. Like, Jake's just going to have a bit of problems. Out of the corner. Looking to the inside of that 4. There it is. Into the corner, just overcooks it. Car comes around. A little bit of a love tap to that inside concrete barrier. Not a safer barrier, but light little love tap. No harm, no foul. Will stay behind the pace car under caution for the 2nd time early here tonight in the Blue Ridge 75. You're watching the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Arca Menard Series. So we're going to point out for those of you watching that are a little bit more old school here, a little bit nighttime racing, not something that we have truly become accustomed to with Martinsville Speedway. Just a handful of years ago, they decided that they would run the 2nd race of the year that they visit Martinsville under the lights after it was a little bit of a debacle. Jeff Gordon was still behind the wheel at the time, but the race essentially, if my memory serves me correct, just about got shortened. They barely got it in before they had to end the race because of darkness. No lights at Martinsville since. The lights have shined bright. It's just like fighting out on a short track Saturday night, but we're going to do it midway through your work week, and all the gas going to leave them behind. Green flag flies once again here in Martinsville. The top 2 going to step away side by side for 3rd. What I think a lot of these guys are going to have to struggle with too, a lot of guys are going to have to fight with that overall brake balance. To be honest, if you get it dialed in the wrong direction, you can find yourself wheel hopping, chattering those front tires. You don't want that. You get it dialed into the rear a little bit too much, you can find yourself going for a little bit of a self-induced spin. A little bit like we've seen Jake Doffing do in that tied number 13 machine back in the 8th position. So picked up a spot or two since the restart. Still a long night, long way to go for all of these drivers in the field. Gonna have a little look. Let's jump around a little bit. What do you say? Give you some different camera looks, some different camera options as we throw the full timing and scoring over there to the left hand side of your screen. Let you find and follow along with your favorite driver of the field here tonight, Alex Wiggins, walking away right now. Half a second advantage over Doug Arca Bright, who sits in second. Top two run right where they started here tonight, up 2 spots. Darn Schley into that 3rd position. Nick Burlow going to maintain 4th with Zach Miller up 4 spots early here tonight. How about the run by that Zen number 38 machine? Let's take a little look at Miller, straight out of Asheville, Ohio, not to be confused with Asheville, North Carolina. Zach Miller currently sits in the 5th position. Nice little early night here tonight for Miller. We're going to see if he can keep it inside of your top 5 for the rest of the night. Dave Gage, not found last week, but Gage, here he is behind the wheel now of that famous 404 machine. Wouldn't you know we'd find him at Martinsville, of all places? Anyways, the Voodoo Ranger, sponsor number 404 machine of Dave Gage, sitting in 6th, qualified final driver in the field, back in 10th, up 4 spots as we go. Still a long way to go, though, as Alex Wiggins looks to separate himself from the rest of the field. Wiggins opening up that gap now to just over 1 second. We're going to take a look back at the front of the field. There you can see race leader down into the corner, about a 7-8 car length advantage. So as we begin to settle into what seems to be a long green flag run on our hands, looks like we've got a little bit of gaps beginning to develop throughout this field. Slide right there, still running with Doug Arca Bright. A little bit of breathing room for Arca Bright of just about 6/10 of the gap for that 41 over the 85 of Schley, but a little bit closer right here. No, we've seen it. Little bit of contact back here in the back. Patrick Coro. Seeing a little bit of that unfold just in front of him. That's going to be Doffing and Gage going at it. 6th and 7th on the racetrack as we ride along on board now with that 91 of Patrick Coro sitting in the 8th position. And this is going to be your tightest, your closest battles right here. There you can see that Zen number 38 machine of Zach Miller struggling a little bit front end. All sorts of out of shape getting down into turn number 1. He's able to keep it headed in the right direction, but struggling under braking is a 38. And I don't know if struggling is something you want to do this early in the race, especially under braking, because the brakes are just going to continue to heat up. Now looking to the inside goes the 91 91 of Coro looking to the inside of Doffing. The 4 of Daniel Jensen looking for a position as well. Now Doffing sliding back. Apologize. Voice just... Hold on one second. Big shout out to Gatorade. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for that one, but without it, I don't know where I'd be. Shameless plug. I know. It is what it is. Looks like driver's starting to sort it out just a little bit. Doffing and Gage had a moment where they went at each other. Just a slight little rub, little bump, you know, nudge, nothing really to see. No harm, no foul. Doffing is going to take the brunt of that, though. He's going to drop 2 positions as Pachikoro and Daniel Jensen made their way by. Things starting to gap themselves up a little bit at the tail end of the field. Meanwhile, out front, biggest advantage of the night is we are green flag for quite some time now. Looking to be about a 25 lap run. And Alex Wiggins starting to step away. Schley not letting Argabright get away for the moment. Half a second advantage for Argabright. Nick Burlow with a bit of a gap. Zach Miller as well. Dave Gage. That's where the company is. That's where the dog fight's at. Let's get back to the battles. Back here around that 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th position here tonight. Tight corners, hard-nosed racing here from Martinsville Speedway. You're watching the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Arca Menard series. It's the Blue Ridge 75 live right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Man, what better way to spend a Wednesday night after a long day than kicking back, relaxing, and watching some great racing action at a historic, famous paperclip of a racetrack that really solidified its place in NASCAR. Gosh, I don't even know how many decades ago it was. There's a little bit of a phenomenon. I'm going to go off subject here. We're going to get away from some of the racing action on the screen. We're going to keep you tuned into it, though, but somewhere along the way, someone decided to make a Martinsville hot dog. And they used a red hot dog. It doesn't taste any different from your normal hot dogs, just for whatever reason. I'm sure there is a reason behind it, but Dave don't know. Imagine that one, right? But anyways. And all of a sudden, you had the famous Martinsville hot dog. It became just as big. I don't want to say just as big as the race, but it became a theme that if you went to Martinsville, you at least had to get a Martinsville hot dog. You had to. And hate me for it. We got racing coming up in Martinsville this weekend. So there's going to be thousands of Martinsville hot dogs eaten. And I don't know why. They are not that good. I don't. Yeah. Anyways, back to the racing action on track. Gage and Jensen separating themselves now from Coro, Doffing, and Tarnowski, who are battling for 8th, 9th, and 10th on the racetrack. So, small little battle beginning to move on up the road. Gaps at the front of the field as Argabright now at a 4 second deficit to your race leader, your pole sitter here tonight, Alex Wiggins, showing some major muscle here tonight in Martinsville, side by side for position back of the racetrack. 13 of Jake Duffy gonna pick a position back up here. And with a light field here tonight, you gotta ask yourself if some of these drivers may be expected to have a little bit of a mix-up or dust-up early here, but then to get those long green flag runs in, knowing that the field would more than likely spread out a little bit. As Daniel Jensen, we're going to switch back up here. Daniel Jensen working to the inside, getting around Dave Gage, will cross the stripe. Lap number 47 already on the board, but move the 4 back up to 6th. As we were saying, it doesn't look like anybody's really saving tires, saving fuel, anything of that nature. But when does that cross your mind that, hey, look, maybe let's take it a little easy here on these tires. Let's make them last a little bit. Let's see what we can do, especially now that we've gotten that almost 38 laps, I believe it is. 38 laps of green flag racing underneath our belts. These drivers are going to be able to stretch this first pit stop somewhere to about lap, I do believe 73 to 78 is where we should see these drivers head to pit road. But do you utilize those 2 quick early cautions to your advantage to really stretch the fuel and give yourself a little bit more of an advantage at the tail end of tonight's Blue Ridge 75? We're just about a third of the way through tonight's race already, clicking these laps off quickly at the front of the field. Your race leader, your pole sitter here tonight, looks like he may begin to work himself into lap traffic here tonight. Yes, indeed, there it is. Tail end of the field, just outside of Alex Wiggins. Man, I'm telling you, Wiggins on fire here tonight. 53 laps in. Whew. Absolute. That is. Let's get a little race recap here. 2 cautions for 7 laps here tonight. There it is, lap number 54, 55, crossing the threshold of just 100 remaining. Alex Wiggins, your pole sitter, he's led every single lap here so far tonight, proving why PremierRacingSetups.com hands the pole award to the fastest drivers. If you're looking for a few tenths, maybe you need a second or two. Maybe it's not the ovals you're worried about. Maybe you need to figure out how to get around the street courses in an open wheel machine or a GT3. Have no worries. They got something for everybody. And over at PremierRacingSetups.com, your longest running standing setup shop and coaching emporium. If you're looking for the next level, look no further than PremierRacingSetups.com. We're only about 20 laps away from the halfway point here. Drivers are going to begin to start eyeballing that pit road entrance. I would say we're going to see it in about, I say 20 laps. Somebody may stretch it a little bit further. We have been shocked and surprised at how drivers are able to manipulate the fuel and stretch the fuel mileage in these Arca machines, methodically working his way through the back Alex Wiggins absolutely killing it here tonight. Race leader out front, looking to the inside, not going to make the move just yet. Heavy on the brakes, you can see the front end duck down as he's battling hard with that 13 no match. Dude, center off of 4, Alex Wiggins putting it on. That 13 of Jake Doffing, so he's going to have to overcome quite a bit of hurdles if he's going to look to get the victory lane here tonight. A little bit of a challenge now for Alex Wiggins, because as he makes his way further through the back end of this field, he's going to start to encounter faster and faster drivers, faster and faster cars. So will we see? Can he do it? I'm more curious to see if he can do it, to be honest. Can he put the field down a lap before the green flag pit stop? Dave Gage, gentleman move right there. He could have fought for all it was worth to keep himself on the lead lap, but he's going to do the gentleman thing. He's going to walk up the racetrack in the center of the corner, give the inside lane to your race leader, come back down, maintain position, keep it in front of that 13 of Jake Doffing, who just continues to struggle on these corner exits. That's the second time in as many laps we've seen a pancake the right side of that Tide machine. It is not going to be as clean as your clothes. Oh, and we might have a little bit of problems. Little bit of problems in the back for Dave Gage. He's going to have a little bit of a slide. And just like that, you find yourself in the back. Oh, we got contact. Contact between the 91 and the 28, and the caution flag gonna fly for the third time here tonight. The Blue Ridge 75 will take everything I said about green flag pit stops and toss it out the window. No longer matters, no longer is a thing. So, back under caution for the third time here tonight. Let's get back out front with your race leader, who is already heading down pit road. And that is just... It's an advantage that it's hard to verbalize. It's hard to... Excuse us. Hard to explain. That when you've got yourself a 7-8 second advantage coming to pit road under caution, you're going to be almost done with the right side. There it is. And done with the right side as the right side just goes up on that 41 of Arca. So you're halfway done your stop before your competition has even made it into their box. Just almost unfair. I'm just saying. Almost unfair. So as we find ourselves under caution for the third time here tonight, we're going to take this opportunity and moment to step away for just a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be back with all your green flag action live here from Martinsville Speedway.
Vice City. It eats you alive if you let it. But if you're smart, if you're ruthless, you can own it. You ready to make some real money?
I'm done being someone else's pawn. We run this our way.
This place is chaos, baby. Just how I like it.
Vice City's changed since I built it. New blood thinks they can take what's mine.
We hit them fast, disappear faster.
And if anyone gets in the way,
We bury them.
they wanted a war. We'll give them one.
Welcome back to Vice City.
And back live trackside here from Martinsville Speedway. You didn't miss any of the action as we were side by side when we hit the gas to go back. Green flag racing, not a lot of changes. At the front of this field, Alex Wiggins still out front. Doug Argabright, Darton Shalai right there, still your top three. The 85, big impact with the outside wall. 38 of Zach Miller still sitting in that fourth position. Nick Burlow now into fifth. Daniel Jensen in sixth. Seventh place, Patrick Corwin, Brian Tarnowski, Jake Duffing, and Dave Gage finishing out your 10-car field here tonight in the Blue Ridge 75. Speaking of 75, we are 75 in just 3 laps away from your halfway point here tonight. Quickly, this race will come to a close, and we may have a little bit clearer picture at that championship battle. Taking a little bit of hit as they run right now is the man sitting in that 6th position. Let's go take a ride on board with the man behind the wheel of that number 4 machine. Riding on board now with Daniel Jensen as he tries to run down the 01 Sluter Systems fast forward of Nick Burlow, who sits in the 5th position for the moment. Little look off of the right side of the car. Love, absolutely love the cameras we were able to put on this machine. Take a look at that out of the back of the car. Taking a look at the rest of the field as they cross the line. Lap number 79 going to go on the board. Daniel Jensen, a little bit of ground to make up, but will he be able to crack back inside of your top 5 and make his way back to where he qualified up in the 3rd position? We're going to have a little bit of time to wait to find out if it happens. Let's drop that timing scoring back to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you find and follow along with your favorite driver in the field. The driver's being assisted by our latest caution. We had a caution back on lap number 60. I believe it was going to be 68. Lap number 68. Yes, it is. 3rd caution of the night. The driver's getting back going. Small gaps already starting to develop. Wiggins not able to shake Doug Argabright quite as quickly this time around. But we're going to check back in about 10 laps, see if that 0.6 of a second deficit grows. Now back to the 4 of Daniel Jensen trying to close in on the Ford Mustang, piloted by Nick Burlow. Burlow right there, not letting that Zen number 38 machine of Zach Miller get away. And talk about bold and brave, only Toyota in the field. If you're struggling with something, you can't look to a fellow manufacturer because there is none. Week after week, we gotta give this guy some flowers. You know what I mean? Gotta give the guy his props. Week after week, he is consistently behind the wheel of that Toyota Camry. Not letting a heavy Chevy field force his hand. Just a couple of Fords in the field here tonight. The California Kid behind the wheel of the Polaroid. Number 41 Machine is your fastest Ford here tonight. The 41 sits in second. Meanwhile, Nick Burlow right here sitting in fifth. 2 Fords inside of your top 5. Will they make it to the end? That's the real. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to play. We're not going to play automobile politics. We'll smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Back in the tail end of the field, a little bit of a battle still developing between the 91 of Patrick Coro and the 13 of Jake Doffing. Those two battling for what will be or what is the lucky dog position. Should we see another late race caution? 91 of Cora would benefit from the lucky dog, get himself back onto the lead lap. So a very coveted, very important position. Yes, it's a lap down, but still a very important track position between these two drivers. And Brian Chernowski, he's just there to really be able to pick up the pieces. That 13 of Doffing gets a little bit overzealous and opens up the door. He could find a way to work his way around the 91. If there's a misstep from Doffing, it could catch both of those drivers out, and Tarnowski could walk away, picking up a 2-for-1. Keep you informed on what's going on out front. Walking away right now, 1.3 second advantage for the Crown Royal. Sponsored number 11 Machine. Alex Wiggins walking away with this thing. Has led the most laps here tonight and has secured that title. Has led all 93 completed laps here tonight, as lap number 94 going to go on the board. And as good as Arca Bright's running in that second position, I don't think he's going to have anything for a race leader. Wiggins just looks to be too good, too smooth here at Martinsville. Not a lot of rotor glow on those front tires. Let's see if we can we get a little closer? There we go, a little closer look, and you can see nothing. Absolutely nothing. And what we thought was the light's gonna come on, that was just a big old storm rolling through the foothills. The track temperature beginning to go back up. Fans in the stands starting to take off some of those coats. And after running well for a good portion of the first half of tonight's race, the 404 of Dave Gage found himself in a little bit of trouble. The problems have just compounded upon themselves, and now finds himself listed 2 laps down. Only driver listed 2 laps down, back in the 10th position. So a little bit of a rough night here tonight for the Voodoo Ranger 404 of Dave Gage. How about Arca Bright, though? Yes, it's an 0.8 of a second advantage for Alex Wiggins right now, but Arca Bright not fading nearly as much as we seen under that long green flag run. Has Arca Bright maybe found a little something, found a line, or could Alex Wiggins possibly be keeping a little bit in his back pocket. A lot to think about, a lot to unfold in just a handful of seconds. Take a look at this battle real quick as we've got a battle raging on behind him. Daniel Jensen trying to close in on Dalton Schley for a spot inside of the top 5. Let's take a little look here. Counting down to just 50 to go. And that's going to be all over in a blink of an eye. I'm telling you, these drivers, the lap times are not falling off on these tires. This lap of the night turned in by, well, you wouldn't be surprised if I said Alex Wiggins, would you? It's this lap of tonight's race, 1918. From Alex Wiggins last time around, 1968. So a half a second fall off, and what is this going to be, 30 plus laps? So tire wear doesn't seem to be a huge factor. Tire fall off doesn't seem to be a huge factor. Doug Argabright running a 1969. So top 2 right there on top of each other when it comes to timing and scoring. I mean, even Dalton Schley right here in that 85 machine, 1979, so just a 10th off of the race leader's pace. And oh, the 13 of Doffing got ahead to pit road. It may be an early exit here tonight for that 13 machine, and looks like it's just going to be a scheduled stop. He's going to have the crew service the car, and he's going to get headed back out on the racetrack. Down 3 laps now is the 13 machine, and there's problems because he's heading back down pit road, popped with a penalty. That is not what you need. Popped with a penalty and parked here tonight. The 13 of Doffing got ahead behind the wall. We've got our first retirement of tonight's race. Took 109 laps to get there, but Jake Doffing gonna pull the 13 back to the hauler. So we're going to stay right here. This is your biggest battle on the racetrack, 4th, 5th, and 6th as we run. Schley picking up the 4th spot. Nick Burlow sits in 5th. Daniel Jensen closing in on that Coors Light Banquet number 4 machine. And Doffing's early exit here tonight indeed does have playoff implications as well. Doffing coming into tonight's race sitting 3rd in the overall point standings, just 26 points behind your season leader, but just 13 points ahead of Zach Miller and Dalton Schley. Miller and Schley, 3rd and 4th on the racetrack. They are definitely going to make up some points on this one. Cody Schultz going to slide through the field just a little bit. Schultz not with us here tonight from Martinsville. Doug Argabright sitting in 2nd. Started 2nd. He's been 2nd all night long. I don't think he's ran anywhere else either. He's going to have a big shot in the arm. 80 points back behind your points leader. He may lose a little bit of ground to him, but he is definitely going to pick up some positions in that overall point standings. And that's going to be crucial as we head into IRP next week. Another short track you're gonna have to watch. I think we're gonna have to watch Wiggins. I mean, showing some muscle, showing some prowess, focus, and continuing to just walk away here tonight. Absolute phenomenal job. Stacking them up, contact in the back. Burlow gonna pick up a little bit of a tap from that 85 machine of Don Shalai. Sitting in fifth, Daniel Jensen right there to pick up the pieces. And we have ourselves a little bit of trouble. Let's jump back off of that onboard camera. Let's take a look at this battle unfold. Shalai with a little bit of a bump and run. Thank you, sir. Position taken in on the brakes hard is the 01. How the hell he saved it, I don't know. I'm just gonna say it. It is what it is. No clue how he saved it, but he got it done. Loses the possession, but that could have ended up a lot worse than what it did. So, I mean, you don't need to call Jake from State Farm, but he's gonna get the good hands by Allstate move of the race. What a big moment for Burlow. Meanwhile, at the front, gap starting to go away. Here comes Arca Bright starting to reel in your race leader. We're just 31 laps away from the checkered flag here tonight, as Arca Bright maybe lulled your race leader to sleep. You make him feel super comfortable, like you don't got nothing for him. You're just quietly taking a 10th back at a time, a 10th back at a time. I can guarantee you, with 30 to go, I guarantee you, Wiggins knows where you're at. Wiggins knows what's going on. Let's take a little look from inside the race car. As your race leader, clothed in on the back end of the field once again here tonight, he'll begin to put the handful of drivers one lap down, and with less than 30 to go, will that lap traffic have race lead changing implications? Because the conundrum here for a handful of these drivers, you've got Patrick Coro and Brian Janowski. Yes, they're off the lead lap, but they're battling for positions on the racetrack. They are right on top of each other. Do you give up that battle for position to let these race leaders go by? Or do you gotta do what you gotta do for the race you're running? This may be controversial, because I do like the fact of gentleman style racing that, look, I'm down a lap, don't need to hold the race leaders up, need to move out of the way, but at the same time, I'm a race car driver and I'm behind the wheel. If I'm battling for a true position on track, then I own the right to race for that position and not just have to give up the fight just because the race leaders are behind me. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Sticking to your race leader this time around. Alex Wiggins unable to build that 4-5 second gap. Doug Argabright has been able to reel him back in. Gap was just north of the border of 1 second. But the California kid not going away. Right here. Quiet right. Down to the inside. Can he put that Polaroid machine into victory lane? Switching, swapping the position down the backstretch. They touch a little bit. Argo Bright gonna wash up the racetrack just a little, coming out of 4 and across the stripe. New race leader for the first time officially at the stripe. Gives a lap to the 41 of Doug Argabright, rolling the center. Man, did you see that 11 of Alex Wiggins really closed the distance right there, man. That was sheesh. $20 to go last time around. You can really see where the advantage has been for that 11. He's really able to close in center off. Just watch him just all over the rear deck lid, man. Oof. We talked about Arga Bright getting a tremendous shot in the arm as far as the overall point standings were concerned, being able to walk away second here tonight with a one driver missing in action, another one parked, getting last position points. Seizing the opportunity. Arga Bright would not go quietly. Stayed at it. Eventually found what was working for the machine and ran down the dominant player here tonight. Ran him down and then made a clean pass. There was some slide contact, so whatever. Clean pass for the race lead. And now he's starting to build that advantage. And you got to be careful if you're Alex Wiggins. You can't be sitting back here cooling the tires for very much longer. 12 laps at Martinsville will be gone in the blink of an eye. You're looking at probably less than 5 minutes of racing remaining. It's time to go. And what a sour feeling, too, if you are behind the wheel of that 11. Man, to just purely dominate the way that he was able to dominate this entire race. You see it all. To see it all go away. 134 laps in. To lead 134 out of 155 and have the race lead slip away. It'll be a very frustrated driver as he climbs out of the car at the end of tonight's race. It's not over yet, though. It's not all said and done. We've still got 8 laps to go. There is lap traffic, and there is a late race caution. Dalton Schley with trouble. Oh my. Let's go check the replay. Let's see what happened. Let's see how it went down. Slide down the backstretch. Everything looked good at it too, and they got to try to correct it. Gonna kiss that outside safer barrier. What a run at the end. Doug Argabright gets it done, treated to one hell of a finish here from Martinsville. So as we get set for the post-race show, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break. So don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. And back live trackside for your post-race show. We won't keep you waiting. Let's dive right into things. Let's see if we can catch up and have a few words with the man behind the wheel of that Coors Light Banquet number 4 machine, picking up the final podium spot here tonight. Daniel, it's Dave. How you doing? How you feeling after walking away with a podium here at the Paperclip?
It's not a fun track for me.
Oh man, you know what? I for no other reason, I have the utmost respect for you now. Absolutely, because I cannot stand Martinsville. Love to come and watch racing here, but I cannot stand to be behind the wheels. So kudos to you for being honest about it. But let's dive into a little bit of something here. You only got a handful of weeks left. You're right there in a good points position. How you think you're gonna fare at our IRP next week?
I think I've only ran there one time, so I'm not sure. But I don't think anybody else has ran there a ton either. So we should be on a pretty even playing field. It's not a track that I don't think we've ever ran it in this league, so everybody should be pretty rookie at it.
Well, Daniel, you had a little bit of a moment at the start of tonight's race. You started in third, fell back deep through the field, worked your way back. Was there any time tonight that maybe you didn't have the confidence in the car?
I didn't have the confidence all night. I was probably like the seventh or eighth fastest car on track. The only reason I got third is because everybody else made mistakes and I didn't. So I'll take it.
Love the honesty. Love the honesty. So, man, with that being said, before we let you go here tonight, shout outs, thank yous, love yous.
My team, Snake River Racing, Cody still hasn't been able to make it back from his move and internet outages, but hopefully next week he'll be back and we'll have our full team back together.
All right, my man. Well, again, congratulations on a great points day here tonight from Martinsville. Until we see each other again, stay safe, and as always, keep it fast.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the broadcast.
All right, another podium yet again for the man that walks away in third. Daniel Jensen going to pick up the final position in the podium here tonight. We're going to grab a short word with your PremierRacingSetup.com Pole Award winner. He led the most laps, just about got away on that final restart. Alex, I know this is not when you wanted to talk to me. You do get to talk to me. Everybody loves when they get to talk to me. I'm like, never mind. I'm not going to make a comparison anyways. I know it's a little bit of a rough finish now, but at the end of the day, you're still going to build on that points lead. So how you feeling?
You kind of said it. Not great. Building on the points lead. Yeah, that's one thing, but I'm here to win, and I didn't do that. So things to learn. I've never been good here, so the raw pace I had was good. Just burn my stuff up on a long run. Just got to learn from it.
Well, we seen you were able to take advantage of that late race caution. You came out as the control car, if I'm not mistaken. Do you think if you were able to replay those final two laps, do you think maybe you could have might have done, maybe possibly, you never know, done something a little different, possibly, to walk away with a race win to keep that 41 behind you?
I'd take it a step back. I would have taken 4 tires in the pit. I took 2 just to jump them because I wasn't sure if Doug was going to take 2 or 4. And then I ran 3 really bad laps. So I didn't deserve to win the race at the end, but unfortunate, I guess is the way to put it.
Well, man, it's tough, man. It's tough. It really is. I hate to be that guy, you know. I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound or anything like that, but man, that's a tough one to let slip away. But we know you're coming back fighting hard next week at IRP and for the rest of this season. So congratulations on an overall great points day. I know it's not the day you wanted, but before we let you go, shout outs, thank yous, love yous.
Just you for the broadcast, sticking through that one. I know it was a quick, short race, so hopefully you had a good time. Everybody that showed up and all the guys that make this thing happen. It was fun.
All right, my man. Well, again, keep your head up. You got more race wins coming. I can guarantee you that. And if you're just as quick as at an IRP, these guys better watch out. But until then, my man, stay safe. And as always, keep it fast.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, walking away in second, your PremierRacingSetup.com Pole Award winner. He led the most laps, almost had it done at the end of tonight's race, but just couldn't seal the deal at the end. And that's going to lead us right into victory lane, picking up his second win on the season, getting it done at the final laps, man. How you feeling about this checkered flag performance?
I'm feeling really good. It was once it got spread out the first run and I was really far behind. I spent the last about second half of the first run just experimenting with different things, seeing where I could find some speed, and I think that's where I was able to do it the second run. Where I was able to save just enough tire to where Wiggins couldn't get away from me, and then I would have enough to actually pass him. So I wish I didn't have to do it in the last second there with the last 3 laps, but no, it was really fun. It was really fun being able to chase him down, because there was a while there where I'm like, oh cool, I'm second. There's no way anyone's going to catch him.
Well, you were able to stick around, hang out, and get the job done when you needed to get it done. You came back and got them there just before that final caution kind of mixed things up, but then you were able to take advantage of it again on the restart and dig to the bottom and get the position back. So now with 2 race wins, we've got 4 weeks remaining. A big shot in the points. Do you think you can make a run at it? It's still mathematically possible. I mean,
Yeah,
mathematically, it's possible.
right. The only thing is, I've never ever done a race at IRP. And that's what we have next week, and then Atlanta is a crapshoot with it being a drafting track version. So those 2 are big question marks for me, to where that gets me a little bit worried. So I'm aiming. Obviously, it's mathematically possible, but I'm aiming top 3 because I know that's realistic based on the races I've missed this season. So I think top 3 will be a win for me with my selective participation with everything going on.
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna say. All right, I'm gonna have to agree. Let's go top 3 at least, because at least that gives me a buffer to be not right. You know what I mean? So...
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, that mine is. I want to set a realistic goal. Obviously, I want to go for first, but I don't want to be disappointed if I don't get it, because it's mathematically possible, but it's the same way when people are like 7th in the chase, and if people finished 40th, 39th, 38th, like, I want a realistic goal.
Absolutely. Well, again, congratulations on a great checkered flag winning performance here tonight from Martinsville Speedway. So before we let you go, do you know the drill? So shout outs, thank yous, love yous.
As always, I'm glad I'm able to do it the second time in Victory Lane. Been able to do it multiple times. Thank you, love you to you always. Hopefully it was not as bad as I thought it would be up in the booth. With us being all spread out like that, hopefully there were still people battling out there, because I know I was by myself. So hopefully you had some entertainment out there. Thank you, love you to my wife as always. I know she's gonna say, "Yay, you won! I'm so proud of you," and she has no idea about how any of this works. So that'll be awesome. She's out having dinner with her friends, so I'm able to have a little bit of time to celebrate this by myself before she gets here, and then just I would say thank you to my patience today. That's my extra one I'm going to do, for being able to figure out on that run, so that way I could run down Wiggins and then figure it out.
Well, again, a job well done, Doug. If there's anybody that can come back, and this isn't to discourage you, if there's anybody that can come back from an 80-point deficit with 5 weeks left, and I'm going to put my faith in you, and I'm going to say I don't think there's too many more in the field that I'd put money on to do it besides you. You got speed, you do have patience. Tonight showed it, so we'll see how the rest of the season goes for you, and we'll just take it from there. So until next time, my man, stay safe, and as always, keep it fast.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, there you go. Final few parting words from the man that walks away with our latest checkered flag of the season. Doug Argabright going to pick up win number 2 here tonight from Martinsville Speedway. What a night, what a run. Doesn't get much better than that. If you haven't already, remember to show these drivers some love and appreciation. Be sure you drop them a thumbs up before you head out for the night. And with producers hitting those buttons in the background, you know the sounds, you know it's time to run down your unofficial race results. Live from Martinsville Speedway in the Blue Ridge 75, walking away with his second win of the season behind the wheel of the 41 machine. Doug Argabright gonna take the checkered flag. Your Premier Racing Setup.com Pole Award winner Alex Wiggins will finish in second. Daniel Jensen will top out your top 3. The then number 38 sponsored machine of Zach Miller will pick up 4th with Nick Burlow in 5th. 6th place tonight to Patrick Cora with Dalton Shalai back in the 7th spot. 28 Tesco Halvaline sponsored machine of Brian Tarnowski going to pick up 8th. 9th place tonight to Dave Gage and Jake Doffing. We'll finish out the field here tonight. That's going to do it for us. We're going to get ready to cut off the lights and roll up the cords, but before we go, remember to join us in that continued push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers some love. Drop a thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash the bell over there on the right hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Dave of the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by. So with that being said, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in Turn 3.